In this today's tutorial, we will be understanding about global list. Using global list by making a process flow, we will understand how we can push the task sequence into the list and then ask operators to use the task as a to-do list. We will also understand about creating priorities and picking up parts which are highly important. We are going to look into multiple debottlenecking steps by using this process flow, and this is how your model is going to look once you complete this tutorial. So hello guys, welcome to another interesting video on your Leansimcorp channel, and in this Flexsim tutorial we are going to understand about creating tasks using global list. Okay, so you will learn a system for building tasks that uses global list and task sequences. Now what you're going to understand is what is a task sequence. So the task sequence is a complete series of tasks that will eventually be dispatched to the task executors, and these are the task executors, right? When a task executor works on a task sequence, it will finish all of the tasks in the sequence one by one without interpreting, other tasks in that unless it has been preempted. You can push task sequences to a global list, and then a task executor can pull tasks off the list when they are available to work onto the another task. So you could think of a task sequence as a complete list of to-do items that operators will pull from the job board. The operator will complete all the tasks in the task sequence in order they are listed, and when the task sequence is completed, the operator will return to the job board and get a new job to do, right? So the major purpose of this today's tutorial, we are going to understand that how we can use global list to make operator perform their task sequences and stuff till end of the video. Okay, so before we go into the video in detail, let us understand basically what is the global list. So global list are what? How are global lists different from the local list in the context of this tutorial is going to be very interesting to look at. So the local lists are the internal list which you create in the process flow, whereas global list can be accessed from the all variables into the system. Okay, so the difference between the local list and the global list has to do with how accessible the list is in various elements of the simulation, right? So what we are going to understand is only tokens which are inside the local process flow, that could be pushed and pulled onto the item list, which is going to be internal on the local list, right? But for the global list, you push that into the global list and pull from them to global list. So in this tutorial, you will create a global list in a toolbox, this, and then link it to the shared asset in the process flow. And then once you have made this list globally accessible, it can be used by both process flows and the objects in the 3D model at the same time. So the process flow will be able to push task sequences to the list, and then operators in the 3D model will be able to pull the task sequence directly off the list wherever they are available to work onto the new task. So the operators will interact with the global list completely independently of the process flow. That is the major difference between the local list and the global list. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create a simulation model where we are going to use a global list for the system. So let us create one of the item lists, and we are going to make this, or we are going to rename this as available, task. Let us rename the global list as available task into the system. All other things we are going to keep it as whatever those are available by default. The label type we are going to delete, and let us delete the queue size. Okay, when we go to the back orders, here we are going to check re-evaluate all values on push. Okay, this is one of the function we are going to click. We are going to click on the unique pullers only, has to be also checked on, and we are going to make it apply, and we are going to make it as okay. Okay, in this 3D model, what we are going to do is we are going to select an operator, okay, and bring up its properties onto the right. So if you see, we have a right properties into the right. In the triggers section, when you go, you are supposed to add a trigger here now. and this trigger is supposed to be created on what? So that is going to be on the resource available. On the resource available for that operator, we are going to put one thing, and the thing is we are going to pull from the task sequence list. Okay, and here in this we are going to add we are going to pull in the list. Okay, and we are going to make that list added here. So this list which you created is supposed to be added here. But now the thing is, if you see the global list which we created, right, that's item list, that's not a task sequence list, and that's where it's not showing here. Now when I click and create a task executor or task sequence list, let me rename this to available task, right? So this is one of the trick, or this is one of the hidden point which I wanted to show you. Initially, which we created available task, that was item list, which all 99% of the people do the same mistake. So this has to be deleted. This is of none of our use. This is nothing but the task sequence list which has to be used, so that only will be visible for us when we go here and plug it down. Now you can see here you have a available task list available here because we have a task sequence list, global list created, and we are going to assign this here. Now what we're going to do is we are going to repeat this process for 4B again. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to repeat this process for the next operator as well. Now let us do the same thing for the next operator. We'll go to the operators, go to the triggers. Here we're going to come on resource available. We are going to use pull from the task sequence list, and the available task is automatically getting assigned to the operators. So this is already done because it is going to pull the jobs from the list, global list. That's where we have made this thing.